We are already in the middle of April and so far I severely neglected art house productions. So before we talk about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 on Monday, let's take a look at a little foreign movie called Stefan Zweig, Farewell to Europe.
Ich glaube an ein freies Europa. Ich glaube daran, dass Grenzen und Pässe eines Tages der Vergangenheit angehören werden. Ich zweifle allerdings, dass wir das noch erleben werden.
Stefan Zweig, Farewell to Europe is a biographical drama made in Austria, Germany and France. It was directed by Maria Schrader and it was picked as Austria's official submission for the Best Foreign Language Film category at this year's Oscars. The original title is Vor der Morgenröte, which translates to Before Dawn. The movie charts the years of exile in the life of famous Jewish Austrian writer Stefan Zweig, who emigrated 1934 to London and later to America. Stefan Zweig used the word Morgenröte or dawn to describe the time after the long gruesome Second World War, the new time that hopefully follows after the long dark night. The movie is set in these dark times and yet, as far as the visuals go, it's one of the brightest World War II settings you can imagine. Most of it takes place in the tropical heat of Brazil, where Stefan Zweig spent many years of his exile. It never shows the gruesome images of war, and it doesn't have to. Stefan Zweig, Farewell to Europe, is more of a psychological depiction of the inner struggles of this famous writer. Zweig was a confident pacifist and he's very reserved about his position towards the events of the war and about the question if and how he should address his thoughts about it. It's a rather reserved, almost distant observation of the author Stefan Zweig, and yet you get an understanding of his persona. The movie has two big strengths for this to succeed. The first being Maria Schrader's unusual structure. She gives the audience a few distinct moments in the years of exile. It's a little bit similar to Danny Boyle's Steve Jobs, only that these episodes might not even show the most relevant events, and at first they also seem very loosely connected. There's no direct line of causality like you would normally expect in a movie, and yet each of those segments is able to give us some brief insights into Zweig's struggle. The second strength is without a doubt the movie's lead actor. For people outside of Austria he might be totally unknown, but here Josef is kind of a superstar and one of the few people, or maybe the only one, who can still open a movie with big national success at the box office. But normally he's known for his comedic performances and his cabaret programs. To see him as Stefan Zweig was a big departure from his usual roles, and he gives a powerful performance of a man who's deeply conflicted about his role in the world and about his own personal wishes and the responsibility his status imposes on him. Aside from Zweig's persona, I like the brief and different sense of the World War II time the movie conveys, starting with a meeting of intellectuals from all over the world to the feverish scenes in Brazil that's so foreign from Europe but might become a new home. There are a few moments where the dialogue felt a little bit stilted as it tried to give you important exposition. And you should also not expect a very emotional movie because it's quite distant. But overall, I would really recommend the movie if you like arthouse productions or are interested in the author Stefan Zweig. At the beginning of the movie he says he believes in a free Europe and that borders and passports will be gone one day. Roughly 80 years later we are still working on that and I hope that we will get there in our lifetimes. In German I'd say, Vor der Morgenröte gibt einen spannenden Einblick in die Person des Stefan Zweig, der großartig gespielt wird von Josef. I give Stefan Zweig Farewell to Europe 7.5 out of 10. It's more like 7.3, but I don't do that. Alright, that's it. Like always, comment below, let me know what you think about Stefan Zweig, Farewell to Europe. And today's question, what's one of your favorite biopics? Mine's Amadeus, about another famous Austrian persona. You can hit me up on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, simply at TheJimmyCage. And if you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up, share, subscribe, whatever you like. And don't forget to hit the clock so we can rock.